time in history, our daughters and our sons watched with pride as 3 women took their seats on our nation's highest court. It's a wonderful day. And finally, Barack knows all too well the heartbreak and frustration that our health insurance system has caused for too many families. That's why he refused to take the easy route and walk away from health insurance reform, because he will never forget how his own mother spent the final months of her life not reconnecting with her family, not reflecting on her life, but fighting with her insurance company because they said her cancer was a pre-existing condition. Barack doesn't want any family to ever have to go through that again. And thanks to the reform that Russ and so many of you helped pass, they won't have to. Thanks to this reform, insurance companies can no longer drop your coverage just because you get sick. They can no longer deny coverage to kids with pre-existing conditions. Kids can stay on their parents' plans until they're 26 years old. And insurance plans have to provide preventative care, important things like breast cancer screenings and prenatal care at no extra cost. That's right, no extra fees, no extra charges. And that's not just about saving money, that's about saving lives. Now, these are just some of the examples of the kind of changes that we're making. And the truth is, it's because of all of you. It's because of strong leaders like Russ that so much has been accomplished in such a short period of time. It has just been a year and a half. But with that said, I know that a lot of folks are still hurting. I know that for a lot of folks, change hasn't come fast enough. And believe me, it hasn't come fast enough for Barack or for Russ either. Not when so many folks are still looking for work. Not when so many folks are struggling to pay their bills and trying to provide for their kids. It hasn't been fast enough, yeah. But I think that many of us came into this expecting to see all the change we talked about happen all at once, right away, the minute Barack walked into the Oval Office door. But the truth is, it is going to take a longer time to dig ourselves out of this hole than any of us would like. And the truth is that this is the hard part. But remember, that's exactly what Barack told us. You remember? That's exactly what we all told each other during all those months on the campaign trail. He told us that what change is hard. He said, change is slow. He said it doesn't just happen on its own. And we all understood that change takes struggle and sacrifice and compromise. Shoot, from the first days as a nation, every time folks have tried to make change, they have faced fear and doubt. They faced setbacks and disappointments. But remember, as Americans, we have always pushed past the cynicism and kept moving forward. And that's exactly what we have to do today. Wisconsin, that is exactly what we have to do today, because there is so much at stake right now. It's too much at stake for our future and for our children's future. And we've come much too far to turn back now. We've come too far to stop giving our kids the chances in life they deserve. We've come too far to stop rebuilding that middle-class security for all our families. We have come too far to stop putting the American dream that I know, that my husband knows, that Russ knows, back within reach for all of us. We've come too far. Now, again, it's not going to be easy, because real change never is. But let me share something with you, something that I do during those times when change seems hardest. Because there are hard times, right? I think about my dad. I think about how no matter how tired he got as he struggled to walk, no matter how frustrated he felt trying to dress himself in the morning, he just kept getting up every day. He just kept getting up. And that keeps me going. That is my inspiration. I think about Barack's grandmother and how no matter how discouraged she felt, she just kept getting up and giving her best. And I think about all the folks all over this country, just like her, just like my dad, who I've met over these past few years. The folks who work that extra shift, the folks who take that extra class, the folks who wake up every morning without complaint, without regret, and do everything they can for the people they love. Those folks inspire me every single day. And finally, I think about how we all felt on election night. I think about how we all felt on Inauguration Day. We were excited. We were energized. We were hopeful. We were fired up because we knew we had a chance to change the country we love for the better. And the truth is, we have that same chance, and we have that same responsibility today. The chance to continue the progress we've made, the chance to finish what we've started, because this election isn't just about all that we've accomplished these past couple of years. This election, Wisconsin, is about all that we have left to do in the months and years ahead. But here is something that I asked you all when I was on the campaign trail. I asked you to make sure you had my husband's back, right? I said, my husband can't do this alone. I'm giving him to you, right? You remember? He cannot do this alone. He needs strong leaders like Russ to help him. And they all need folks like all of you to make this happen. They can't do this alone. So we need you to make those phone calls for Russ. We need you to knock on those doors for Russ. And we need you to get everyone you know to vote for Russ. And folks can do that right now, today, because you know what? Early voting has already started here in Wisconsin. Early voting. All you have to do is log on to votenowwisconsin.com to find out where to cast your ballot. We also need you all to go out there and find all those folks who are planning to sit this one out. Find them. And we need you to tell them that they can't vote just once and then just hope for change to happen. They have to vote all the time, every time. They've got to vote for their council members and their mayors and their governors and for senators like Russ Feingold. We need you to get those folks up. We need you to get them fired up, because in the end, our campaign was never about just pulling one man and putting him into the White House. The campaign was never about that. It was about building a movement for change, millions of voices strong, a movement that lasts beyond 1 year, one campaign. And let me tell you something, Wisconsin, if you keep standing with Russ and bringing folks together for Russ, if you're still as fired up and ready to go as you were 2 years ago, then I know that we can keep this movement going. I know we can keep that American dream alive. And years from today, our children and grandchildren will be able to look back and say that we kept faith with the values we were raised with, that we gave them the better life they deserved, and that we met our obligation to leave for them and for their kids and grandkids an America worthy of their dreams. Yes, we can, Wisconsin. Yes, we must. And yes, we will. So let's get it done. Thank you all so much. God bless you all. God bless America.